At a time when all the big studios are jumping on Unreal Engine 5, Sucker Punch and other first-party Sony developers are sticking with what they know best, their in-house proprietary engines. Here's a game that was developed on the same engine as some PS4 games, infamous Second Son and Ghosts of Tsushima. Of course, the developers refined this engine and it looks better than ever. They added in ray trace based lighting, the draw distance where you can see for miles showcases amazing looking open world. While Unreal Engine 5 games look great, they're demanding, they're badly optimized, and here's a game that looks better than most of those recent titles. This is one of the best looking games of the year, Ghost of Yotei. The game is just so well optimized, and that's good news, but maybe even bad news for those that upgraded to a PS5 Pro. Ghost of Yotei runs really well and looks really good even on the base console. As I showcase these side-by-side comparison, it's gonna be really hard to see the differences between the base console and the Pro, but let me at least try. Let's start with the loading times. When you start off from dashboard, the game just continues right where you left off. It completely skips the main menu, taking only 11 seconds. The difference between the two consoles is really negligible and within a margin of error. There's really no loading screen here. The transitions between gameplay and cutscenes, it's all really seamless. The game itself is about 86.8 gigabytes. That's typical of a single player PS5 game. This game is really good. The hours I spent on it so far is some of the best single player experience I've had this year. Assassin's Creed Shadows and Rise of the Ronin are some recent games that are similar. Now, while those games do feel a bit more open world, where they struggle is the storyline. And the storyline is basically what makes Ghost of Yotei amazing. There are side quests and an open world element to the game, but the story, the narrative is what keeps players hooked. It also helps that the game's visually stunning. On the base PS5, there's 3 graphic modes: quality, performance, and ray tracing. Quality mode runs fairly close to 4K. This is going to give you the highest visual quality, the highest possible resolution. It is, however, only 30 FPS. Performance mode does solve that with a higher 60 FPS. But of course the resolution is lower. It's gonna still be fairly sharp though. Performance mode tends to stay above 1080p most of the time. The third and final mode is ray tracing. This adds ray trace reflections that are a little bit higher quality. The resolution's around 1440p and the frame rate is locked to 30 FPS. Now supposedly these are supposed to be higher quality lighting and reflections. If I'm being honest here, the difference with normal lighting and ray trace lighting isn't much. So don't expect some Alan Wake level ray tracing here. PS5 Pro does get the same exact 3 modes: quality, performance, and ray tracing. But there's a 4th exclusive mode to the Pro called Ray Tracing Pro. This mode enables higher quality lighting just like ray tracing mode, but now instead of being locked to 30 like the base console, the Pro owners do get 60 FPS in this mode. The internal resolutions are around 1080p to 1440p and then gets upscaled to 4K using PSSR. Visually, the difference between the 4 modes on the PS5 Pro is minimal. Most people aren't gonna notice much of a difference here even when I'm zooming in 4 times. Quality mode of the base console and the PS5 Pro look similar. Both are around 4K resolution and 30 FPS. The Pro is mostly locked to 4K while the base console might dip slightly below that in certain parts of the game. Performance mode on the PS5 Pro does get a bump to 1440p average instead of that 1080p on the base console. But once again, the differences are minimal and it's only certain high demanding parts where you're gonna see the Pro having those minor advantages. Ray tracing mode is really the same story, slightly higher 720p resolution on the PS5 Pro, but I'm having to zoom in 4 times here and it's still hard to see that difference. So really the Pro has that 60 FPS ray tracing Pro mode, and that's really the main difference between the base and the Pro console. If you have the base PS5, it's best to play in performance mode. With the PS5 Pro, you can select that ray tracing Pro mode or even that 60 FPS performance mode. Ghost of Yotei looks visually stunning no matter which graphics modes you choose, but for me personally, the 60 FPS is really important. So how is this game's performance? Really good. Quality mode is locked to a solid 30 FPS. FPS, no drops, no issues at all. Performance mode is locked to 60 FPS of course, and then ray tracing mode is a solid lock 30 FPS. PS5 Pro's exclusive ray tracing Pro mode also runs flawlessly, a solid lock 60 FPS. Now a little bit about cutscenes. The game adds those cinematic black bars on the top and bottom when you're free roaming on your horse. In those cases, the frame rate stays at 60 FPS in performance and ray tracing Pro mode. That's pretty impressive considering you have this huge field of view. There's even some regular conversation scenes with those black bars on the top and bottom. Those are also 60 FPS in performance and ray tracing Pro modes. Where things are different are high quality cinematic cutscenes. Those cutscenes are clearly higher quality when it comes to the animations and visuals, and for that reason they are locked to 30 FPS no matter what mode you choose. So even in the performance mode they're going to be 30 FPS. And that's what you need to know about Ghosts of Yotei on PS5 and PS5 Pro. The visual differences between the two consoles, between the different modes, they are really minimal. For the rest of the video, check out some more side-by-side comparisons.
Everything's in order.
Protect the gate! And you, mercenary, lend us your blade. You will be rewarded.
What, I'm on top of a rest?
Circumstances have changed. Stay close.
How did you know about the permit?
I would have heard if an official permit was issued to the Onryo who killed the snake.
News spreads fast.
Even at the edge of the world. I assume you're here for the Oni. He has declared war on Clan Matsumai. The raiders who attacked are his.
Explains the masks. Is that...
The armor of fallen samurai. The Oni raiders do everything.
beasts?
Check the bodies. What do you see?
Plenty of high ground surrounding a choke point. Your friends rode right into a trap.
So where are they? The horses can't be the only kind.
Saito's men. I'm not the only one looking for Hanbei.
Careful! We've lost too many men to Hanbei's trap.
Why not just leave the old cripple to rot on Mount Yotei?
Because Lord Saito...
Die, Vader scum!
More for the fire!